Hey friends, Wickety here, and it's nearly the New Year's. I've seen a lot of camps that have been built to celebrate the season, but for me, I wanted to do something just a little different. I had this idea and really wanted to see if there was a way to craft something really unique. So with the New Year's, I set out to make a mini version of the ball drop in Times Square, mixed with my own makeshift Ferris wheel, which is how here on the west coast of the US, we like to watch the countdown. And really, what better place to build it than just right outside of Watoga, with their bright lights and their big city vibes. Yeah, I know it looks just a little weird, but if you know what it is, it's a lot easier to appreciate the build. Otherwise, it might be hard to see the abstract look I was going for. But you know what? It's my camp, and I do what I want. Within the frustrating Fallout building mechanics, of course. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you the highlights of how to build some of the things that I made, and then we have our walkthrough at the end this time. Okay, so this build took me 3 to 4 hours to make and decorate, the fourth time I built it. I did a few practice builds and had to readjust the camp location so that I could achieve all the bits and pieces I needed on here, and to test to see if some of these things would even work out. When you're laying out your foundation, you really want to make sure that all the components you want can go where you need them to go, so doing some experimenting is highly recommended by me. And few things are worse than building with the basic foundations and then changing the flooring at the end, only to find out that one of them is turned the wrong way and you have to strip it back down again. So I use floors that make it easy to tell where everything is lined up, even if they're a little bit ugly. But these colors work for what I was looking for. Now, getting a foundation up on a higher level is easy after you do it a few times. Remember, start with one level, go 2 blocks out, remove the middle piece, adjust the end, add in the middle piece, and place where you need the rest. Only 50 failed attempts on my old builds to get this right. Man, I just eyeballed this and it lines almost perfectly up with a half wall. I do end up lowering the foundation a little bit because I do want a lip of a wall. Ah yes, that's more like it. So we need to build a skyscraper and to put a big old ball on top. I can only build this so high before we reach the max height boundaries, but you can get around this by placing your camp thingy at a higher level when you choose your location, and you can build up and down from it. But this is a relatively flat spot, so I'm going to work with what I got. When you are building multiple levels, I find it best to make some makeshift scaffolding so that you aren't always falling down. This is just what I like to use. There are methods with the actual scaffolding pieces in game. I just find them a little bit too finicky for me. When I start my buildings out, I do like building with the walls with the doorways first, as they are the most versatile for removability, and I wanted these flipped out so that I can have wallpaper on the outside, as the inside of my building is basically useless. The easiest way to flip a wall is by putting a foundation on both sides, and then you'll be able to choose which way the wall faces. Okay, onward and upward. Now that we're at the top level, we gotta get the ball on top. I did show how to get the greenhouse to float in my last camp video just by placing a 3x3 flooring and place the greenhouse on top. Then you remove the floors and voila! I am using this for my own version of the ball drop. I wish I could flip it upside down to make it more of a complete ball, but I make do with what I have to build with. And unfortunately, I can't get this pole to light up or hang lights inside of the dome because it's too high up, but that's okay. I just end up throwing a few lights on top of the roof. Now, in order for me to achieve the appearance of the bottom of the ball, I did my best to continue the pattern on the glass by connecting so many wires it hurts. So this was a painstaking process that I had to repeat many times, and I can't imagine ever wanting to do it again. I like to say that you never know you'll hate something until you try it at least twice, and I tried this 6 times, so yeah, I know. Sometimes we just do things because we know we can, but it doesn't mean you should sacrifice your sanity to make it. Never again. So I lined the inside of the dome with power connectors at all of the connecting points, and in order to put one into this big old gaping hole, you can have a free floating connector just by adding in some conduits, and you can attach it and remove the pipes. I use this method a lot on the second layer of conduits for the curve of the ball. This is where everything gets really annoying, and in order to get it to the right height, I did add the pipe on top of a new stand so that I could get to the right level. And well, I just placed, replaced, moved things around all the way in a circle until I had 20 conduits, each one spaced in between the other two above it. Now for the bottom layer, I do place this just along the wall in between the two on the level just above it, but if you're going to be changing the wallpaper on these, be sure you change the wallpaper first before you place the connector, otherwise it will remove it. Which is something I didn't know until I already had the whole row set up. Yeah, mistakes were made. That's okay, we learn from them, right? So to continue the look and pattern from the dome, I go ahead and wire up the whole thing in a diamond pattern to complete the bottom of the ball. Ugh, I need a nap. Not too bad looking. Yeah, that'll do. Now onto the next bit. Building the pieces for the arms of the Ferris wheel was a little bit tricky. I actually cannot have these walls up here if I want the stairs to go where I need them to go. Building in the world of Fallout can be a little bit tricky, but it's really all about the order within which you place the items. Like, I needed these stairs to kind of zigzag, and I couldn't place the upper stairs to where it needs to go without first removing the bottom stairs and the upper wall that was blocking its path. After I got the upper stairs where they needed to be, I was easily able to place the bottom stairs that I needed. And then just move the wall right back where it needs to be. Then I just add one more set of stairs on each side. There we go. So in order to get the center support for the Ferris wheel, I had to adjust and readjust the conduits quite a few times to get it just right. Otherwise, it'll just say that your conduits are floating, so you have to adjust it to get into just the right spot in order for it to float properly. It took a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error, and then I finally got it. I actually ended up having to remove the stairs that I had placed up in order to get the conduits in place, and then the stairs snapped back in. Now I just had to turn the Ferris wheel into a big ol' circle by adding conduit connecting points at the end of the supports and stairs, as well as a couple more points around in order to get that look. As I wasn't able to find another way to add a shorter angle into it, I just used some floating conduits, and I'll show you the trick here. And I just need one more level for the curve. These didn't want to snap to this connector, so I just placed it on top in order to achieve what I needed. Sure, it may not be a perfect circle, but I'm damn proud of it. I love that you can actually hang the hanging lights from these conduits. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish up a bit of the decorating, and I'll come back to you in just a little bit. Alrighty everybody, my decorating is complete. Let me go ahead and show it all off. I am located right outside the outskirts of Watoga and right by the Watoga city limit sign. This place looks okay during the day, but it looks so much better at nighttime, and I threw so many advertisement light-up posters on the wall to kind of resemble that Times Square look.
This unit has has been programmed with the task of wishing all who cross its path a
If you couldn't tell, this video is sponsored by Nuka-Cola. And it's not a proper New Year's Eve party without having a performer on stage. The hanging icicle lights that come from the large gift boxes from the holiday event are absolutely beautiful here. And I did have these atomic light lamps, the hanging lamps that I put on the floating conduits, just so that you can see the full edge of the Ferris wheel. Oh, and a few lights on the stairs as well. There was a gaping hole in my tower, so I put the Old Man Winter effigy from the Fashionat event in here, as well as some garlands. Finally, a use for that vault tent. And on the back side of the tower, we have a few clocks to decorate the countdown towards the new year, as well as some decorations to kind of celebrate a few things that we've had in Fallout 76 over the last year.
Tier levels dropping to catastrophic levels.
And I love that Santa crash.
Complete.
The big city of Watoga is right back there in the distance. Let me take you through the back area, through the workshop. I didn't want to waste a lot of space, so I kept things pretty compact in the workshop area. This build is definitely max budget, by the way. And back here is where the party happens. Man, the mirror ball is one of my favorite lights. And of course, I have my Pioneer Scout flags up here. And in the bottom of the tower, we have my vending machines. Everything here is priced with either 76, 2020, or some variant of that. And my centerpiece table has a collection of all the things I'm celebrating from getting from Fallout 76 this year.
Workshop for further inquiries.
And of course, I'll be keeping my free Santatron around for quite a while. Alright, let's circle around and take one big look at it. I really wish I was able to make the big ball up top glow some more, but I used every single light I possibly could anyway, so that's okay. Ah yes, check that view out. Definitely giving off that Times Square New Year's Eve vibe. I absolutely love this. And thank you to all of you who've been sticking around with me this last year. I just wanted to wish you all a very happy new year. So, what do you all think? Do you like it? And do you have any crazy plans for New Year's Eve? Try not to party too hard. Do you make New Year's Eve resolutions? And if you do, what's yours going to be this next year? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Wickedy, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year's! Bye!